We're celebrating Christmas 2020 style. This is our house at night. I don't think I've ever done a video at night, but this whole year has been different. Namely, the trees you see upstairs are lit but not decorated. Had to do Christmas 2020 style this year, scaled back, only put up 8 decorated trees. So we'll go inside and see what I came up with this year. So the main tree, it looks more or less the same every year. And this is where we celebrate Christmas morning. The only thing different is the topper is a little more elaborate than in past years, but otherwise it's decorated very similarly. Might be a few extra flowers on here as well. I love this sign that I started with last year. And we're calling this the family tree because it is where we do Christmas morning, but it also has the family photos on it. Here's some of me and David. And this is David's ornament this year, where he just became Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of North Carolina. And that's part of the reason why Christmas is scaled back, because I had to decorate a 5,000 square foot empty shell. And some of my trees I took there, and so some of my energy was there. This part of the room looks more or less the same, other than my candlesticks broke this year, and I had to run out and find a substitute to hold my angels. And when the candlestick broke, the angels fell off. Fortunately, it did not break, but I cannot find its trumpet for this side. Maybe when I take off all of this mantle decoration, it will be uncovered then. And this too is a little bit more elaborate than normal, a little bit fuller than normal. And we do have the nativities in here. And I put this little Victorian car down here this year. In this room this year, I put the upside down tree, and it's showcasing my clock ornament collection, which if you've not watched my videos before, that's my most collected type ornament. This tree here has, I think, around 100 ornaments hanging on it, clock style ornaments of various types, from wooden to metal ones to fancy glass ones. And it does have these Sputnik type ornaments hanging on it. This was the night we were supposed to be able to see the Bethlehem star. I went out and looked. I never did find it, but here's my Bethlehem star. I do have the wreaths back on the windows over here, with ribbon that matches the tree. And I did put the nativity on the organ. Matching ribbon on the wreaths hanging here as well to what's on the tree. We'll come back to that room. Foyer looks pretty much the same as in years past. In the master bedroom this year, I put the jewel tone tree. And this tree I've put up last several years. Didn't make it quite as elaborate since it's in our bedroom this year, but this has the famous red cameo heart ornaments that Ed Bartels gave me, and I kind of designed this entire tree to work with those. I call it the jewel tone tree because it pretty much has every jewel tone that you can think of, from emerald to sapphire, some gold, amethyst, ruby, garnet, some of everything. Another cameo. The famous Christmas spider. I did put the carolers in here this year, kind of in the round. I didn't have really another place to put them. And the bottle brush trees are on this bookcase, which normally houses a village, but I didn't put that up this year either. This is David's fez. This is his old one. His new one says Grandmaster. So we'll move on. So in this little alcove, I just have a tabletop tree that has these Victorian dolls hanging on it. It's the back hallway. Another look at this little nook here that goes to the cellar. So in the back hallway, I normally have a big tree in this back corner, but that's at the Shrine Temple this year. So to fill this void, I just put a collection of trees. It kind of looks like a forest with this deer sitting down here, but it could also be a tree lot. So Christmas trees for sale. The wreath there is one of the ones that I hung at the shrine. I had 4 of them. I brought 2 of them home, gave 2 away. My kitchen is currently set up for a little luncheon that I had the other day for a gathering of 8 people I work with, and I'll chat about that in a second. This tree here, I'm calling the Burberry tree. Let me get back so you can see the full effect here. This tree has a very nice topper on it with these pine cones with these sprigs bursting out of the top of it. And I call this the Burberry tree because it has this Burberry looking ribbon on it, but it also has black and white. It has some lanterns and some black and white ornaments on it, and just trying to work with the Burberry ribbon. Just a red and green and black and white and Burberry ribbon kind of thing. And there's the clock ornament here, at least one of them. Another one down there, one there, one here. So this tree over here is actually the same size tree as the Burberry tree. And these 2 trees sat on the stage at the installation. They were decorated the same, and they were decorated as black and white theme to match the black and white floor at a Masonic lodge. But also I called it the Faith, Hope, and Charity tree. And I put these ornaments that are Faith, Hope, and Charity, black and white ornaments, the clock ornament. And I decorated it a little different at home so it looked a little more homey. But this is mostly black and white. It does have a little touch of red here and there, and these bark type poinsettias on it. And a basket, which matches the basket on that tree as well. The piano is decorated with this little vignette with some sprig type trees and a few alpine type trees and reindeer, Santa Claus, snowman, these old Victorian toys. So into the kitchen. The black and white theme just has on the table some simple green and white china. Just sticking with this black and white theme here. This is the mantle this year. And that's the wreath I used to help decorate the shrine temple. And this little table, it's normally seats 6. I have it set up for 4. And this shelving over here has these little vignettes in some of the shelves. Victorian house over there. So the kitchen this year looks a bit different because I put these wreaths on the cabinets. I have never done this before. My mother and my sister helped me collect enough to do it. These are from the bargain bin at Target. This too is set up for dining. A little 2-tiered stand. But these are just hung up here with black and white ribbon. I taped them to the back of the door. I think it turned out pretty good. And I brought the portrait type, or picture type, I guess, china in here this year. I like the way it looks up here. Not quite black and white, but close enough. I do have a new range. Last year my range was not working right. Finally got around to replacing it. I do not have the backsplash yet. The range that used to be here had a high back guard on it. The new ranges do not offer that. So I'm waiting on my tile man, Mr. Gentry, get well, so that he can get this backsplash in order. Another look at the kitchen. This is the butler pantry. Also has a few bargain bin pieces in it. Pioneer woman dishes. Into the dining room. So the dining room this year is a red and white theme, which helps with the walls being red. But I put up this North Carolina state theme tree that I call it. It's in this nice planter box built by Philip Paulson. And call it the North Carolina state tree because it has cardinals, some of them flying cardinals. There's another flying cardinal. And it has dogwood branches. But basically everything on here is red and white. I love this rainfall or firework type topper. It's a buffet. But the star of the table is the dishes, or are the dishes, which match the theme of the tree with the cardinal. And my mother gave me these and helped me collect them to finish this table. It's a dessert stand. This is a Cobb Cardinal. Works perfect in here, Jean. This buffet. Also with the planter boxes that match the other one over here. Made by Philip Paulson here in Oxford. These little trees here on these pedestals were the centerpieces at the installation. It made a very pretty centerpiece. So into the last room is the pink and green and gold tree. A little bit of cream as well. This is kind of a Victorian themed tree. I've had something similar upstairs. I kind of upped my game down here since it's a more formal room. And it has these pretty cherry blossom pink, deep pink sprigs at the top, and green poinsettias and pink flowers here, as well as pink roses. These pink cameos. These little pearled ornaments I bought at Walmart about 10 years ago, still in good shape. People have asked me, where did you get all these ornaments? These are a collection through the years, basically over the last 20 years of stuff that I've collected. Started off very simply, and then I just started putting things together to make a theme. I did experiment with some more elaborate mantles this year. This particular mantle started with a base piece of garland that had some gold balls in it, and then I added this sprig waterfalls to the side, and I added a bunch of other balls and flowers and bouquets of flowers in here to give this a very almost White House mantle look to it almost. It's pretty elaborate. Story of Jesus. And I will finish where we began, with the main tree. Merry Christmas from the Wicker family.